Hey guys, and welcome to part two of my um, my own DCEU. So in the last episode, I rewatched it a few times, my video, and I saw that I made a few things that I maybe should not have made, but I can't change that now. I'm not gonna change it because I'm not just gonna make a new video saying, "Hey, my last video was I made a few stupid things there." So maybe I'm gonna do that. What I would change for that DCEU, but this is just part two. The last one did very well, and a lot of people asked for part two, so I'm gonna do it now. Now, the first movie here is up in phase three is Nightwing. Now, we have, of course, seen Nightwing in my version of the DCEU in every movie that Batman has been in. So, this is a prequel, kind of like it shows Nightwing in when he's Robin and he leaves Bruce, and it just shows some of his adventures in Bloodhaven, and we get a few flashbacks of his origin story, and then it cuts to present day where there's a new threat and stuff like that, and it shows that how he goes back to Batman and he works with him. It's basically a prequel to Batman Under the Red Hood, my first Batman movie, where the Joker and Red Hood were villains. I recently just actually rewatched Batman Under the Red Hood, and it was really great. It was much better the second time. I was thinking that the villain could be, Tony Zuko could be a good villain because he was the one responsible for Nightwing's parents' deaths. And I was thinking maybe also Deadshot, so we could just get introduced to him through Suicide Squad when he's going to be in Suicide Squad. Maybe do something like Tony Zuko hired Deadshot to shoot his parents instead of how it was really in his origin story. That would just make them have a bond. Deadshot and Nightwing. Just make them have a little bit of a bond in this movie, so they aren't just villains. And he could encounter Deadshot a few times through the movie. But yeah, you could have some Barbara Gordon in it too. How he met Barbara Gordon, and they could have a relationship in this movie, and they could also introduce the Teen Titans through this, since the Teen Titans are part of Nightwing's origin story and part of Robin's. No, not part of Robin's, but never mind. It's just they could introduce so many things with this, and I think Barbara Gordon and at least a little cameo of the Teen Titans would be awesome to have in a Nightwing movie. Shazam is next. Have the villain be Black Adam, because everyone is excited about Dwayne Johnson or The Rock, whatever you want to call him, playing him. So just have him as the main villain. We of course got introduced to Shazam in the second Justice League movie, where he was actually in that. It was there that he joined the team. But just have him in the Justice League second movie as he's not going to play a huge role, but just so we get to know him before his solo movie, so we can set up his character for his solo movie. And this could again be a prequel for his origin story, or it could be not an origin story, just whatever way they want to go with this. This is my DCEU. I would prefer maybe a prequel with an origin story. But yeah, and maybe in the end show him how he joins the Justice League. I would like that for a movie like this. So yeah, just do that for the Shazam movie in my DCEU, and have maybe a Superman cameo in this, because Superman and Shazam fighting is amazing. I mean, I love when they fight, so have Superman cameo in this. Now comes Suicide Squad, finally. And I want this to be kind of basically Assault on Arkham live action. Assault on Arkham is one of my favorite animated movies. Seriously. I love that movie with all of my heart, and I've seen it so many times. Harley Quinn was great in it, and they should have Batman kind of as a hero in it too, but not kind of like he was in Assault on Arkham, not too much. But they should have the Joker in this, and just have so many heroes in this. Have Harley Quinn too, and just show in the end the squad, they're basically fighting each other instead of the threat, and they just go completely. They just don't fit together, and a lot of them escape, and they just escape, some of them, and it just doesn't work out. And yeah, that is just show the squad not working out. They just can't work as a team. But in the end, they, of course, not including the people that ran away, but in the end, they fight the threat together. And they stop it. But the squad just goes completely apart. And because the remaining members, because they defeated the threat in this, it will be the Joker, and in Gotham City Sirens, Joker, of course, sent Harley away in a rocket. So they aren't on the best terms, and show Harley choosing the squad over the Joker. Maybe have like Joker pointing a gun at Deadshot and saying it's him or me, or throwing the gun to Harley Quinn and saying it's him or me. And then she shoots the Joker in the leg, maybe so they can arrest him or something like that. But show that Harley still feels a little bit for the Joker, and have a romance between Will Smith and Margot Robbie. Now, the next movie is a Flashpoint movie based on Flashpoint Paradox. Flashpoint is my favorite Flash comic ever. I adore this comic. I adore Thomas Wayne Batman so much. And I really like the idea of Martha becoming Joker and Thomas becoming Batman. I don't know why, but I just really like the idea of that. And just show that Barry has had enough. He is going back to save his mother, like in the TV show. He saves her, goes back in time, everything's different. And maybe in Flashpoint, the Amazons and the Atlanteans are at war, so maybe have him wake up just in the middle of a war zone between those two, and just have him nearly be hit by bullets, and he runs back to Central City, and that is where he begins finding out what has happened. And have him meet Thomas Wayne Batman. In this universe, I have had Batman kind of be like a mentor to Flash, like Tony Stark was kind of a mentor to Spider-Man, and Thomas Wayne could be the exact same in this movie, kind of the mentor to Flash. I always saw that in him in Flashpoint. And kill as many people off as you can in Flashpoint, because when he goes back, we know that everything will be nearly the same. And you could use this movie to fix flaws, too. Stuff people hated, you can change that.
Then here we have All-Star Superman.
Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. When he runs back from Flashpoint, he's not played by Jesse Eisenberg or something like that. You can just fix the problems with this. But yeah, Flashpoint in here.
So there's not really that much to say about this. It's based on All-Star Superman, which is a comic where Superman finds out he only has 1 year left to live, and I know there's going to be two Superman movies in a row where he's going to die, but never mind. That's basically all there is to say here. Lois doesn't die. She survives. Yeah, that's all there is to say, probably.
Batman Hush is an amazing comic book, which is why I picked that to send off the Batman trilogy. Batman Hush is not only one of my favorite Batman comic books ever, it was actually the first real Batman comic book I ever read. So I just think it's an amazing comic book. And there are just so many villains. You can have Catwoman. You could have so many good opportunities in this. And maybe you could have Thomas Elliot in some of the previous movies to set up his character for this one. To set up him and Bruce's friendship. Because he is Hush. Oh yeah, spoilers for Batman Hush and all of these comic. Never mind. Yeah. I picked Batman Hush.
that's all there is to say for this one. I love Batman Hush. I picked it to send off the Batman trilogy. Yeah, that I picked it. And Batman will not die in this. He will survive. Unlike Superman died in the end of his trilogy. But Batman will survive. So let's move on. Cyborg is the next movie. So the next one is Wonder Woman 3, and it's going to be titled Civil War, and I really like, what Civil War is Marvel saying? Whatever, just hear me out. So Wonder Woman 3, there's this comic where Batman and Wonder Woman fight. Maybe it could be like a Civil War, Wonder Woman Civil War, where we could have a team or something, Batman and Wonder Woman leading each their own team. I think that would actually be really awesome to see for Wonder Woman 3 as a movie. So then we have Batgirl, and it's going to be based off The Killing Joke. Now, hear me out here. It's based on The Killing Joke comic, and it's basically a Batgirl movie, setting up her character, so be careful for her when she gets shot, a few flashbacks, origin story, love with Robin/Nightwing, she gets shot, and we just get a lot of cool stuff for Wonder Woman 3, so yeah. And that's just all there is to say for this. Yeah, yeah. So, if you're thinking, what the frick is this? Let me tell you. Joker versus Riddler. It's Batman. It's a new Batman comic book. I don't want to explain all about it right now, so I'll just leave a video in the description of IGN talking about it. Yeah, so it's a new Batman comic, and it shows Batman asks Catwoman to marry him, and he tells her a story about back in the day, in his first year as Batman, when Joker and Riddler basically had a war going on. So yeah, I was thinking it would be very cool to see that, especially because have the Riddler as the main character and have his origin story in this, because we don't really have Batman as kind of just a guy trying to stop him, like in Assault on Arkham, just trying to stop the villains. Have the villain as the main character and have Batman trying to stop him. Kind of have Joker and Riddler even, because also show Joker's origin in this. Make it like Civil War. Have Riddler and Joker even. Show about the same screen time for both of them, and just have a war going on and have Batman be there like in his Assault on Arkham. And to send off Phase 3, we have Earth 2. Now, I'll have this be based on it's kind of like a Flash movie a little bit. The first 30 minutes will have Flash as the main character. It'll basically have him, he's running, and he runs into Earth 2, like in the comics, and he meets Jay Garrick. Through that, we get to meet a lot of the Earth 2 superheroes. We get to meet, so Flash is stuck on Earth 2, and basically the movie is trying to find a way, Jay Garrick trying to find a way to get him back. We get a bunch of the Earth 2 superheroes, and yeah, I would just title this movie Earth 2. So he's stuck on Earth 2, he has to find a way to get back, and yeah, he just has to find a way to get back to Earth 1. Jay Garrick helps him. Jay Garrick is the main character. We have a black Superman, actually, and we have a Green Lantern that is gay, which would be interesting to see. So, yeah, we could just get introduced to Earth 2 with that. But while Flash is on Earth 2, he ain't the main character. That's Jay Garrick. But we get to see him in maybe 5 scenes on Earth 2 only, because he's running around and he gets to look a bit around, and then the first scene, of course, where he is where he comes to Earth 2, and the last one is where he returns back to Earth 1. So, and the other scenes are just him looking around and meeting characters from Earth 2. So basically just have the Earth 2 Justice League or something as the main characters, and then he comes back and he tells the others about the Earth 2 and stuff like that, and we could get another Earth 2 movie, or now, basically, the multiverse is introduced now, which is good. So that's that movie.